Hi, this is Katie, and thank you for joining me on the My Senses, My Space podcast. And today I wanted to talk about the sense of consistency. And as some of these other senses I'm covering, it's not a formal sense of the sight, sound, taste, smell, kind of a sense that you can extract and look upon it as itself, but you can perceive consistency through your senses. But I do want to talk about it this way because many people are either drawn to consistency or kind of fight consistency in their lives. So let me give you some examples of that. So many of us can feel better if we have a consistent schedule where we start things at a certain time, we run through our routines, we have assigned things to certain times of the day. So, okay, it's 10 o'clock, it's time for me to go to the grocery store, it's 11 o'clock, I need to go to that meeting. But there are others who find that too restrictive, and they need to have flexibility in that. So they need something different along the way. So having time blocks works a little better for them. So an example of that would be, okay, today I'm focusing on writing for my work, and I have a set amount of time before lunch that I'm writing that I get to choose maybe from a couple different things that I could write from that day. But it's something that I can choose in that moment of what I want to do with my time. And that gives me a little bit more stimulation in the perceived, choices that I have to make, that I have control over what I'm doing for the day. So consistency can be that. It can be around time and how you're experiencing it, but also it can be around food and around tactile things that you're feeling with your body, whether it's clothing or whether it's blankets that you use. So two terms that I wanted to kind of bring up that are the opposite of one another. Homogeneity is one, and that is when everything is the same and there's a consistency to everything, and where what you're experiencing has this comfort level of predictability, that what that is something very similar to the other, almost the same. And then heterogeneity is when things are different and there can be a lot of range and differences between things. And a lot of us just crave things in either having things the same or having them different. Now, I bring these up because I've heard people talking about these terms in terms of food. And when I'm helping my son pick out food that he likes, there is definitely a huge element to him of consistency. So having those foods that he consumes be very predictable, almost like a Starbucks order, right? Like when you are ordering coffee, it doesn't have to be Starbucks, but from a certain place that just has that formula down, that they have it. And so when you order it, you know what to expect, right? You know what it tastes like. You know what it tastes like when it's off. If that is a big part of your comfort level, that you are, saying, okay, I need some comfort, I need some soothing, I need some way to kind of bring my anxiety down. And that is one way of inviting that into my life, is consuming something consistent. Then, prepackaged things or having things made the same way every time, or that you're in control of making that food, can bring a lot of comfort. And then there's people on the other side where it's the foods can be vastly different, right? They want to experience different textures, different spice levels, different, how big the food bites are, and like how cut up the food is within those bites, and how does it have crunch or softness, or that combination of things in their mouths, or are just like, wow, this is really an experience to eat this food. One really good example is blueberries. So I think a lot of people refer to this when they talk about if your child is having food issues, and just taking, for instance, blueberries. Usually the wild and organic ones are kind of like, you don't know what to expect with each one in your mouth, right? You take a bite of one, and sometimes it's super sour, sometimes it's smaller, sometimes it's a little sweeter, sometimes as it bursts in your mouth, it has a different feel. So sometimes it's more mushy, sometimes it's harder. And there's this whole variety of ways that you can experience a blueberry. Sometimes if you get more of the ones that have been grown in a way that they are more consistent, you'll get more of this similar mouthfeel. Or if they're processed through a plant and they're all selecting ones that are similar and they're baked in a pie or something, you get that similarity between them all, and so you have a predictable result. But there's a reason why some people and kids are like, no, I don't trust a blueberry at all, because I don't know what to expect. I don't know if it's going to be sour in my mouth, and I don't want that in my mouth if it's going to be unpredictable. And so they rely on things that are predictable, because there's so much else going on in their lives that is unpredictable throughout their day. Of like, I was surprised by a math test that day. There was an interaction with my friend that I didn't understand. And so I had to carry that anxiety and process through that. So having something consistent helps form that bridge of just getting through the day. And so it's something to think about as you're going throughout your day. What do you look for in your day that is consistent? What are those things that you're looking for that provide you these stepping stones throughout your day, because you know they're going to be there, and you don't have to worry about them, and going on to actually tackle the harder things during the day, the things that take a lot more thought process, a lot more heart conversations, or more compassion, or more energy from you. And that can be a lot of just interpersonal what's it called? Like relationships. That's what I was thinking of just navigating those, because that can take, a lot of your energy. So think about that, and see where you also are craving differences, that you're craving parts of your life to have more variety to them, and that you want to experience kind of a range of things within that, whether it's food or scheduling or clothing. Some of us have we want to wear the same thing all the time, so we feel comfortable and we can focus on other things. And other people, it's like, fashion is amazing. I want to experience the whole range of different kinds of fashion and what I want to wear, and colors and all of that. And then, coming back to, but that may be too distracting to other people. They don't want to look down and see all these colors, and it's just overwhelming to them. So the spectrum is not linear, it's more of a circle. And so if you think of it as we're all kind of somewhere on the circle of what our preferences are, but also what helps us throughout the day and how we get through to the end. So I hope that helps, and I hope you join me next time on the My Senses, My Space podcast.